Today is the 13th of October 2018. We are here to watch Diamond Creek versus Rosanna, round 1 of the F1 grade in the 2018-19 season. This is at Coventry Oval in Diamond Creek. This is Channel 8, the local sports network, and I, Chukka Wilson, welcome you to this broadcast.
In the field of shadows, where flowers stand like trees, by the cover of a willow, he got down on his knees. He buried all of his hopes and dreams there beside the quiet stream, and waited for the summer to make him bloom. With the shovel in his sore hands, he dug a hole so took his dream plans and sat him down to sleep. The secret thoughts, yeah, they all went down, buried in the stony ground, and waited for the summer to make him bloom. Maybe hope is shallow, 'cause nothing ever grew. The ground laid fallow, only dirt beneath his shoes. Some dreams are just meant to stay alone inside a padlocked cage. The seed that's dead and broken will never bloom. The seed that's dead and broken will never bloom.
Hello everybody, and this is Channel 8, the local sports network. I am your host and lead commentator, Chukka Wilson, and I welcome you to this broadcast. Today is the 13th of October 2018. It is the second week of the cricket season in the 2018-19 season. We are about to watch round 1 of the F1 grade between Diamond Creek and Rosanna. We are of course at Coventry Oval in Diamond Creek. This is obviously a very significant match because last season we watched the third team of Diamond Creek win the premiership right here at this ground about 6 months ago. And as per the DVCA rules, they have now been promoted. So this team, which is the third team of Diamond Creek, has gone from the F2 grade to the F1 grade. And so now this is their first taste of F1 cricket. So they are reaping the rewards of their amazing performance in the previous season. What this means, of course, is that there are a lot of unknowns in terms of what we're going to be expecting to see, because Rosanna is a team that was in the F1 grade last season, and so these two teams have not played each other in the last season, and so there is a lot of unknowns in terms of what we're expecting to find and what we're expecting to happen over the course of this match. There are a lot of unknowns, and it's going to be very exciting to see what happens. For the moment, let's just consider this. Rosanna made it to the grand final of the 2017-18 season of the F1 grade. But they lost to the grand final to Banyul. So Rosanna got to second place on the ladder with a 9 wins, 1 loss and 1 draw count, and they got 57 points. They got into the semi-finals and they beat Eltham. Rosanna were bowled out for 80, and then they were able to bowl out Eltham for 72. Rosanna then went into the grand final and were bowled out for 68, and Banyul chased down the score 4 wickets down, and so Rosanna are the runners-up for this competition last season. And so we have a Diamond Creek team that has just been promoted up to this grade, and you could make the argument that they were well and above the F2 grade, because they were well and truly the best team. They had only dropped the 1 match. They won the entire tournament in parts quite easily. Obviously they had to work very hard during the grand final, but there were a lot of periods, such as the semi-final, where it came very easy to them. And so now we're going to be seeing a real honest appreciation of just how good this Diamond Creek Thirds is, because they're coming up into the next grade. So we've got 2 teams. Now Rosanna obviously is going to be aiming to repeat their performance last year and get into the finals and get into the grand final. And Diamond Creek, there are just so many unknowns, and we just don't know how good they are going to be in this competition this year. And so we've got a lot of... We're just going to be doing a lot of let's wait and find out, because they'll obviously want to make a good impression, they'll obviously want to try to do a lot of good work, but it'll all just matter on whether or not they actually are up for this competition this year. And so it's going to be, we're not going to know the answers to these questions about how good Diamond Creek are in the F1 grade until we've had quite a number of games, we've seen a lot of these performances, and then we get a better understanding of the situation. So that will all come over the course of the next couple of months. But for now, let's focus on this game. Diamond Creek versus Rosanna, round 1 of the F1 grade in this, the 2018-19 season. Let's look at the 11s. We're going to start with the Diamond Creek 11. So, first of all, we've got Potto, who is an opening batsman. Then we've got Rob Shaw, who is an up-and-coming fast bowler. We have Ireland, who is a very reliable bowler. We have Russ, who is a very reliable batsman. We have Jaram. Then we have Saul, who is of course a left arm fast bowler. Then we have Stephen, who is a developing keeper. Then we have Davies, who is a middle order batsman. Then we have Tassone, who is a flexible batsman, can bat pretty much anywhere. Then we have Kingsley, who is a veteran, reliable with both bat and ball. And then we have Sexton, who is a very good fast bowler. Moving on to the Rosanna team, we have the 3 Walks-Go players. Then we have Wilkes, Scott, Attard, Simmons, Potenza, Balcombe, Gravel, and Goswami, who is the keeper. For the Diamond Creek team, Rutt is the captain and Stephen is the wicketkeeper. So those are the 2 11s.
Many valleys, not enough mountains. Too many drains and not enough fountains. Cynicism's dark abysm, it swallows all the light that passes by. And I will choose a path of lightness, even when I'm blinded, sightless. 'Cause I'd rather be adrift at sea than the safety of a jail with no key. Too many words and not enough feeling. Too many lost balloons on the ceiling. They had their way, they'd float away, but now they're stuck up there till they run out of air. And I will choose the path of flying, even when it's terrifying. 'Cause when your head is high up in the sky, they'll try to clip your wings so you can't fly. With 2 feet on the ground. If you don't wish for anything, when you get nothing, you won't feel let down. But I will choose to bear abuse and risk to lose it all. 'Cause I wanna feel alive. Too many valleys, not enough mountains. Too many drains and not enough fountains. Too many valleys, not enough mountains. Too many drains and not enough fountains.
So it's now time to discuss the weather. Today, Saturday, the 13th of October 2018, it is expected to be 23 degrees. The minimum overnight was 11. It is to be sunny. There is a 0% chance of rain and the wind is north to northeast. And as we look around the ground right now, we can see that there is not a single cloud anywhere. We are just looking at the brightest of blues. It's not particularly strong blues, but it is very, very blue. There is not a hint of white cloud anywhere. And so we're going to be expecting very sunny conditions throughout at least the first half of the day. Perhaps things will change later on, but I can't even see any clouds on the horizon. So it's going to be a long while yet before we actually see any change in the conditions. Luckily, it is only going to be 23 degrees. It will not be too hot. So that's a good thing for the players. They won't be under too much stress. We are still only in springtime. The season has only just begun, middle of October. And so it's going to be a little while yet before we see anything significant in terms of heat or the usual things that happen in summer where it will be very hot and you'll have northern heat throughout the day, and then you'll have a southern breeze and a southern wind that comes that cools everything down at about 5 or 6 o'clock. That is all to come later on in the season. For now, we are dealing with springtime weather, and so it should be a very pleasant and easygoing day for cricket. Let's have a look at what we've seen for the past week. Friday, it was 23 degrees. Thursday, it was 20.7 degrees. Wednesday, it was 16.5. Tuesday, 17.9. Monday, it was a very hot 28.2. And then on Sunday, it was 24.7. And the Weather Bureau has recorded no significant rainfall this week. There was a little shower on Monday, or was it Tuesday? But it wasn't at all significant. It was just a tiny little shower. So in terms of significant rainfall, we have seen none of it over the course of this week. And what this means is that Coventry Oval hasn't changed that much in the last week. We can still see the wear and tear of the football season around the boundary of the grounds. There are still large patches of yellow and bare dirt over the course of the square, and so Coventry Oval is yet to reach its prime, and it probably won't for at least the course of October. It won't be until maybe November that we actually get to see Coventry Oval at its best. Okay, so that is the weather. Let's take another break, and when we return, we'll continue with the pre-game show. This is Channel 8, the local sports network.
Beagle down the street, he's never on a leash. In every car that passes by, he chases like a freak. I was puzzled, so I asked him what he'd do one day if he caught himself a big old Chevrolet. And he said, ooh, I don't have a clue, but how many of us ever really do? There is not a glowing sign that I am heading toward. I'm not aimless, I'm just not sure what I am aiming for. My stupid little cat thinks her tail is a rat. She chases it in circles till she sputters out of gas. I told her it's impossible to catch that tail, that no matter what she does, she'll always fail. And she said, ooh, have a clue. Maybe what you're telling me is true. But how am I supposed to know if I don't explore? I'm not aimless, I'm just not sure what I am aiming for. But me, I know my way. I wake up every day. I start to walk in from my path, I never really stray. I'll get to where I'm going when I figure out why the map is always changing when I start to find my route. And I go, ooh, 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 I don't have a clue, but how many of us ever really do? There is not a glowing sign that I am heading toward. I'm not aimless, I'm just not sure what I am aiming for. What am I aiming for?
Now for the moment, let's just have a look at what we have for the up and coming rounds after this game is over. So for this is of course for the F1 grade in the 2018-19 season. So for round 2, which will be next week, we have Diamond Creek at the Marngrook Oval hosting Bundoora. Meanwhile, Rosanna will be going over to play at South Morang, that will be at the Mill Park Lakes. Then we have round 3. First of all, Diamond Creek will be going over to play at Norton Oval to play the Old Paradians. Rosanna will be hosting a game against McLeod at Shelley Park. And then round 4, we have Eltham hosting Diamond Creek at Susan Street. Meanwhile, Rosanna will be going over to Heidelberg at the Banyule Flats to play against Heidelberg. So those are the upcoming 3 rounds.
There's a little girl in Skibbereen with flowing hair and ragged jeans and floating in a vivid dream as classes go by. And every day at 3 o'clock she's out the door and down the block and hurries to the river dock with a gleam in her eyes. And everything's fine for the day. There's nothing to get in the way of her smiling. There's never a care for tomorrow, 'cause Molly's a princess today. Oh, la 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 la. The barricade's a castle wall, 47 miles tall. The river's got a waterfall, the moat is so deep. The cedar trees are canopies, a ceiling made of needle leaves. A buzzing fleet of honeybees are guarding the keep. No one can take this away. It's locked in her mind and can never escape. And there's never a care for tomorrow, 'cause Molly's a princess today. Oh, la 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 la. Life can be lifeless and cold when your heart grows up and gets old. The dreams of your past never quite seem to last in a future that's so far away. But here in this place, you know Molly is a princess today. In a little while it's dinner time. She leaves the kingdom in her mind, a bookmark in the storyline. The chapter is done. The mystery of what will be tomorrow when the clock strikes 3. There beneath the cedar tree, the princess will come. And there's nothing that she couldn't do when she closes her eyes and imagines the view. And there's never a care for tomorrow, 'cause Molly's a princess today. Yeah, well, there's never a care for tomorrow, 'cause Molly's a princess today. Oh, la 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 la.
So, week 1 of the cricket season, the 2018-19 season, was of course last week, and it was a very good week for Diamond Creek. Now, we watched the game here at Margaret Oval, where the second 11 of Diamond Creek in the B grade were able to win their game, and it was also a very good day for their firsts in the Barclay Shield. So, it was Rosanna hosting Diamond Creek at De Winton Park. Diamond Creek won the toss and elected to bat first, and they batted out their full 80 overs, compulsory closure, 9 for 323. That's 9 for 323. McLean got 116. Campbell 119, and then contributions also Benny 11, Dean 33, and Camboris 24. For the Rosanna bowlers, 1 for Peached or Pietch, 3 for 69 for Shelton, 1 for McGregor, and then the best of the bowlers was Dunbar with 4 for 55. So a very large total for Diamond Creek in the first round of a one-day game, a first day of a two-day game, and so Rosanna will have a huge challenge ahead of them to chase down a 300 total of 80 overs. It means that they'll have to be scoring at 4 runs and over right from the start. And so Diamond Creek are in a very good position to win that game. And of course, the Diamond Creek 2s are away for this weekend, and so we'll be checking up on them later on to see how they did. But that's all that has been said about what has happened. Now we need to look ahead into the future. And so now we are just waiting for the opportunity for the players to come out, and then the game can begin. But for now, let us take a break. You are watching Channel 8, the local sports network, and I, of course, am your host and lead commentator, Chukka Wilson. We are here to watch round 1 of the F1 grade in the 2018-19 season between Diamond Creek and Rosanna. Let's take a break now. When we come back, we'll have more of the pre-game show.
Was I drawn into your orbit, or were you drawn into mine? In any case, you've given me a new reason to shine. The circles we're revolving, spinning recklessly around, growing tighter by the hour, till the flash and then the sound, and for a moment two are one, glowing with the brilliance of a multiplying sun. But even stars will one day fall, and I won't shed a tear, 'cause for a time we had it all. In a darker time I floated like a lantern in the sky, alone until the moment that I saw you flying by. I don't know where you came from or the way the wind will blow. I only know I'll follow you no matter where you go. And when the candles start to fade, slowly we'll descend, but I will never be afraid. And even as we start to fall, I won't shed a tear, 'cause for a time we had it all. When I met you at the bus stop, I was waiting for a ride. Instead I found a future when you sat by me inside. All the roads that we have traveled through the land and in our lives, returning like a spiral as the dimming sun arrives. And when the stars were all aligned, you pulled me in your orbit as I pulled you into mine. And when the time has come to fall, I won't shed a tear, 'cause for a time we had it all. For a time we had it all.
And so out come some of the Rosanna fielders. They are just going to be doing some final last minute practice, just getting everything warmed up and ready to go before they start this game off. And so we'll just have to wait for the umpires and the batsmen to come out, and then we'll be on our way to starting this game. It is currently 8 minutes to 1 o'clock, and so it is only a very short distance to go before this game can start. Until then, there's the wicketkeeper. Until then, we're just going to have to wait and see when the rest of the players can, participants can come out, and then this game can begin. Until then, let's just take a break.
Body's in a chair across from me, but your mind is in the sky above the trees, just floating, so lonely. Yeah. You tell me that you love me truthfully, but empty words have got no use for me. So show me, just show me. Well, your shirt is all stained from the heart on your sleeve. You talk a good game and I wanna believe, but if you really wanna prove your love, then just show me. Am I just a bad habit that you can't break? Are you scared to face down that big mistake that you blew it? And you knew it. Dashing young prince in your fairy tale, or was it just another slice of slightly stale bologna? Come on, show me, yeah. Well, your shirt is all stained from the heart on your sleeve. You talk a good game and I wanna believe, but if you really wanna prove your love, then just show me. Such a flaming wreck. The fire never died when our bodies would collide in the night. And still I smell the smoke in the talk a good game and I wanna believe, but if you really wanna prove your love, then just show me. Yeah. And the well is all drained from your buckets of words. It's time to listen up if you wanna be heard. If you really wanna prove your love, then just show me.
And out come the Diamond Creek batsmen. Now 4 minutes to go before the game can begin. Alright, so we're about to begin play, so let's take a break now and we get back. We've got ball one.